Welcome, everyone, to Firmament Academy, a streaming rainbow actual play using the Girl by Moonlight system published by Evil Hat Games. Before watching, please check the description for content warnings because we want to make sure you have a good time. My name is Serafina Smith, and I am the producer of this show and director of this game. With me are our players, 3 of them at least. One will be joining us next time. Now, you're about to hear a lot of me in a minute as I set the scene and introduce us to the world of Firmament Academy. But beforehand, I would like to have our players introduce themselves. Starting from the top left, Danny, will you please tell our audience who you are?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much, Sarah, for having me here again. I really appreciate it. I'm Danny, he, him, Danny Armendoza in all the places. I've been doing stuff with Streaming Rainbow for a little bit now. They've been kind enough to ask me back. I'm really grateful for that. And I am going to be playing a character called Entry, who you will be meeting shortly.
Moving across the screen to the top right, Ran, will you introduce yourself to our audience?
Hi, my name is Ren. I use she, her pronouns. This is my debut at Streaming Rainbow, so I'm extremely excited. I use she, her pronouns. I already forgot whether or not I mentioned it. I am a theater director by trade and kind of entering my second year of doing live stream and actual play as a passion project on the side. I'll be playing Perdita slash Fuguea, the harmony in this series.
Nice. And finally, we have Blackwell. Will you please finish out our introductions for us?
Absolutely. Hey, y'all. How y'all doing? My name is Blackwell, your everyman in the TTRPG / D&D verse here on the interwebs. I am, all intents and purposes, a virtual actor, and I will be playing as Harken, your unlikely hero. God, someone help this boy.
Wonderful. Thank you all. And now with the intros out of the way, let's begin. Pardon me. The world has changed. 50 years ago, the year 0 of the new calendar, the world was assaulted by hordes of corrupted beings with terrible powers. It was only saved from total catastrophe by the actions of the Malek, benevolent, magical beings that take the form of animals. Uniting their power, the Malek created the Firmament, a mystical barrier that encircles the earth, keeping invaders out. But this did not prove to be the lasting defense that was hoped for. Soon after, the Incursions began. Hostile creatures found or created a way through the barrier of the firmament and came to wreak death and destruction upon the people of the world. In response, teams were formed to fight off the Incursions. Individual Malek would bond with groups of chosen humans born with latent magical powers, empowering them to defend the world. In this way, the world remained safe. Children born as chosen have since been given special privileges, sent to special schools to learn to better work with their Maleks. Schooling continues all the way through the college years. The most prestigious of these colleges is Firmament Academy, located in the heart of the great city. At Firmament Academy, chosen of the greatest potential are given the skills they need to succeed in and to defend the world. Among the students of Firmament, the student council is spoken of in whispers. Rumors about this group of mysterious students abound. Some say they secretly control the school, even the administration. Some people say they can get a student expelled with a single word. Few know the truth, that the student council is only an administrative body second, that first and foremost, they are a team chosen by and bonded to the Academy's resident Malek, a majestic Maine Coon cat named Ansivel, with the primary task of defending the school from incursions. Last year, a particularly deadly incursion led to the deaths of 3 students, and the danger was only defeated after the student council president, Devril Strelitsa, quested to find the legendary Sword of Truth and used it to finally take down the Beast of Dark Flame. But that was last year. Several has graduated now, and the sword gone with him, but the legend of the mysterious swordsman who, with the help of his team, took down the beast and saved the academy lingers on. The fencing classes are packed this year, and it is not uncommon to see students walking around the campus with a rapier or arming sword sheathed to their hip. And there have been no incursions since, at least not until now. Our camera turns on, and we see an ordinary sophomore student, resplendent in her red school uniform. The uniforms at Firmament are highly decorated, often covered with embroidery, with ribbon awards for scholarly achievement on their breast and epaulets on their shoulders. This student's name is Kella, and there's something strange about her that's hard to pin down at first. Maybe it's the way her sunken eyes dart around too fast, as though taking everything in faster than thought. Maybe it's the way her shadow just seems a bit deeper than the other shadows around the scene, as though you could fall through it if you stepped wrong. Maybe it's the way her hand never strays from the hilt of the sword at her hip. We see her glance around her briefly before making her way undetected behind the school's massive central clock tower. We see nothing more for a while, and then at last there is movement as another student, this one unnamed, makes his way with fumbling stealth behind the clock tower as well. Soon after, there is a cry that turns into a gurgle, and then all is quiet again. The shadows behind the clock tower seem to darken, as though the shade were deepening and somehow reaching out. Not long after, we see Kella leave alone, her face a mask of frustration. But now we pull back from Kella and move across the campus to find the first of our student council members, Perdita. Perdita, as you're leaving your Applied Thaumaturgics 201 class, stepping out of the majestic granite building in which the Practical and Theoretical Magics department holds their classes, the wind is whistling in the trees, and the lavender light shines down from the firmament in the sky, as it always does on clear days. Ran, will you please tell us what Perdita looks like and what is on her mind?
Yeah, of course. Perdita has a presence that, in musical terms, is at a pianissimo. She is not necessarily quiet, but rather almost like a note that is held very softly but deliberately. That is quiet enough that you can't help but listen to and pay attention to, but not loud enough that you're going to feel uncomfortable with. She has pale purple hair that falls in very soft, silky curls that's half tied back with ribbons in the colors of new leaves and flower petals, which, you know, she wears similar color scheme with the way she dresses, which is usually, you know, a light layers or light dress that sways in the breeze. And her movement is always kind of balanced, very deliberate, and shall we say harmonious, no pun intended, with the playbook. And she's always, you know, holding a smile, the way like a lullaby smiles. I don't know if that makes any sense. And she's pretty in a way that's not threatening, a little coy, doesn't step out of the box at any point. The kind of beauty that doesn't make you feel like dangerous. And her voice is kind of the same way. It's very melodious, musical, without a lot of effort. But then something like just a little bit underneath the obvious layer, if you pay close attention, you see that her lips, in the midst of all of the pastel, all of the pink and green, you see that her lips are painted in this deep crimson, almost like dark red that is shimmering in this deep purple and blue tint, that sometimes when it catches on a flash of the light, it makes you feel like you're stepping into a different, much darker dimension. I think what's on her mind currently in the surface is, what can we do? What can I do to help someone in need today? That is kind of like her daily goal. And then, but just a little bit beneath the surface, she is thinking, as she always does, as she noticed the reflection of herself in a window pane, as she noticed that slight shimmer of warped shape that is herself. Who am I really underneath all of that? And that is her. That is Dita.
Wonderful. Thank you. All right, we're going to do Perdita's obligation roll now. For obligation, we roll your lowest attribute. I believe your sun, moon, and stars are all equal. So if that case, you can choose any one of them to use. With sun, your obligation will be physically... Oh, sorry. Go on.
No, go ahead. Sorry.
Okay. I was just letting everyone know that with sun, your obligation will be physically taxing or involve frightening people or circumstances. With moon, it's something that makes you feel despair or brokenheartedness. And with stars, it's something about anxiety or social stressors. So go ahead and choose one and roll, please.
I think she is currently driven with emotion, this need to be a calming voice, be someone who someone can lean on to be calmer or to be a little bit softer. So I'm gonna roll moon, I think. And it's just one die, right? Or is
if you have just one in the attribute.
Yeah. Okay. That is a 6.
Woo!
We are starting strong.
Yes. Wonderful. Okay. So if you had not rolled a 6, you would be taking some stress. But so since you're not taking any stress, your obligation is a mild one this episode. What do you think that looks like? What is this obligation? It's since you're not taking any stress, feel free to just make it sort of a casual thing if you want.
Yeah, I think she is sort of given this responsibility to be somewhere between a guidance counselor and like a tour guide for this new like incoming students, to just kind of show them around the campus, make sure that they know where to go for all of their daily needs, and just be like, a friendly presence to get them all set.
Oh, that's lovely. Yeah, so you guide a half a dozen new students, all fresh-faced and looking around wonderingly, probably at more luxury and just like golden gilding and flowers than they've ever seen in their lives, coming from the city. And so they're all very happy to listen to you because they are they're being confirmed that they're special, that this is a place
I
for
think
them.
she kind of used her very melodic, and every word she says is often chosen deliberately and with care. And she will say to them something along the line of, "You're here because this is your destiny." And I know that sometimes when you hear words like destiny and the path you choose, well, the path I choose is you. It seems threatening or it seems scary, but don't be. The people you meet along the way, people like me, myself, and other people that who have come before you, we're here as a helping hand. And if you ever need anything, you know who to turn to.
Yeah. Oh, that goes well. Yeah. That is exactly what they were wanting to hear. So your obligation phase goes along without a hitch. You show the students around, and they are very pleased. We'll pull back from this, and our camera moves a bit across the campus to focus on Entry, who sits behind a desk reviewing papers that were just turned in by the students in the advanced cryptography class, which Entry TAs. The last of the students have just left, and the professor is arranging his notes nearby. Danny, please describe Entry for us and tell us what's on their mind.
Sure. Entry is bored by the pedestrian work that these students continue to deliver, in spite of all of the opportunity that Entry provides them to elevate the work that they are doing beyond the mediocre and the mundane. Entry looks like a golden, perfect avatar of Firmament Academy expectation. If a person were a doll sculpted to represent the flat ideals of an institution like this, they would look like Entry. Entry has uncannily untextured skin that one might think in the abstract they would find reason to envy, but in practice is deeply off-putting because it is clearly unreal. Entry is entirely disconnected from everything around them until it gains at least a modicum of their attention, and that takes quite a bit. Entry is quite focused on a utilitarian approach to every moment in their existence so that they can maximize their impact as they see it. And so the way that they dress, although it does adhere to standards, is the simplest form of dress that they have gotten the powers that be here to allow them to wear. And they float slightly above the floor anytime that they go anywhere, not in a particularly showy way, just because it takes a little bit less of their focus than moving their legs around. It does, unfortunately, gather stares that they do not really appreciate or understand, but it doesn't bother them enough for them to change it. In fact, it isn't even clear to me, as the person speaking right now outside of Entry, that they're aware that that is what is causing the stir at all. And sometimes it's not. Sometimes it's simply their disposition. They have just finished going over this incredibly pedestrian work very quickly because it was not challenging to them at all to go through, and they are yearning for a challenge.
Wonderful. We'll move to your obligation roll then. You have no dots in sun or moon, I believe, so you can roll either of those.
Yeah.
Again, sun is physically taxing and frightening. Moon is saddening, heartbreaking. Subtract whatever you roll from 6 and take that many stress.
Perfect. If I'm not mistaken, since I have 0 in both, I'd roll 2 and take the lower, correct?
Correct.
Love it. So I think I'm going to go with sun.
Okay.
See if I can do something. It could be physically taxing, but you also mentioned frightening, right? Potentially to others, if I understood.
Yes.
Love it. Okay, that is a 6 and a 1, so I am going to take that 1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's 5 stress for you.
All righty. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Love that. All right. So, with
that in mind,
yes.
Tell us about your obligation.
There is something that has been challenging Entry in cryptography that has them quite distressed, although they would not admit it to anyone else, because it is the first thing they've really encountered beyond the nature of their own creation that has given them any pause in figuring it out. There is a cryptographic message delivered via some kind of signal the source of which is not entirely clear. They're convinced not all the information has been shared with them. I don't know, as Danny, whether or not that's true, but that is Entry's thought, because that is the only reason that Entry can think of why they have not been able to figure out what it means. So they turn their attention now to that puzzle that they cannot break. And the second that they connect with it, they feel something inside of themselves that they have trouble articulating to themselves because it is not particularly logical. And logic is where their comfort lives. So they push it down and they wrap themselves in that logic, and they just continue to run themselves in intellectual circles that they know are not going to lead them where they want to go, hoping that they find something new as they traverse those paths that they've already traversed way too many times.
Okay, the school's Malek, Ansible, lays with his eyes closed, apparently taking a nap. Blackwell, please describe Harken for us and tell us what's on his mind.
What you all see is a very plain student. As our lovely GM has mentioned, most of the students have basically have shoulder pads, emblems, sashes, things like that to say their status, what they've done, things like that. Harken doesn't really have that. Their uniform is very plain, while everyone else's is very bright and forensic. His is very muted, monotone colors. He has cornrows with a fade going on. He has bright brown eyes. I say bright brown because to him, they're bright brown, but to everyone else, they fit in with the muted colors that he has. Skin that the sun has touched multiple times. Sun loves him. He loves the sun. He's sitting at the fountain, just hoping and praying no one comes up to mind his business. Just wants a normal day for once.
Yeah, those are good to have. It's time for your obligation roll then. Your lowest attribute, I think, is stars.
I believe so. It is.
So I think your obligation will be something to do with social obligations or anxieties. So roll stars and subtract the total from 6. And take that many stress and tell us what form your obligation takes for this episode.
I'm assuming I roll 1d6, correct?
How many dots do you have in stars? 0? 1?
Yeah.
0?
Just 0.
Okay, so for 0, you will roll 2 dice and take the lower.
So 2d6. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I got both 5s.
Okay.
Hey,
All right, so you
Nice.
only take 1 stress.
that's
Okay.
fate. That's what we call fate. Yeah.
And I think his obligation is, of course, someone does approach him and they start asking about his brother. They start asking questions like, am I going to take their place? Am I going to, rise up to what they've accomplished? And luckily, it's on the lower end of intensity of the conversation. It's probably somebody new. It's probably a freshman. It's probably somebody that just transferred from the school. So they don't have all the background of who Harken is. And Harken's just like, I'm working on it. Okay. Yeah. Like I will do my best to, keep up with my brother. Yeah. Like, yeah, I got this. While complete, like they're saying this physically, but anyone that's been around Harken knows that he only says this just to avoid a fight, just to avoid longer conversations.
So that stressful conversation is diverted by your skillful and practiced deflections. But it stresses you out a little bit, for sure.
Absolutely. This is an everyday monologue, everyday conversation. This script has been written so many times that it's just like, we know what to say, we know what to do, just to not garner any more attention.
Mm-hmm. And that's the goal, right?
Just keep your head down, make it through the day.
Mm-hmm.
And hopefully we graduate with no issues, no complications.
Of course. Well, with our obligations down, we move our camera to the opulent student council headquarters within the heights of the ornate clock tower at the center of the academy campus. The three of you are there. The other council member, Lobi, is off campus visiting family in the city today. Ansible is standing on the pillow in the massive cat bed that sits in the center of the room because, of course, the student council headquarters is centered around the cat bed. And he is addressing you all. I'm afraid it looks quite bad. The student, Albert Modwidge, was murdered with a blade behind this very building. It could be coincidence, of course, but if not, if this was some sort of message targeting the student council, then it could be a new incursion. You will need to be on the alert, ready to spring into action at any moment. I believe in all of you. Please investigate the matter, and with any luck, put our fears at rest, I myself shall be stalking the campus on the lookout for trouble. I may even skip my afternoon nap, and you know how grumpy that makes me. And
Well,
without
thanks,
waiting
yes.
for any questions, he hops out of his cat bed and heads for the elevator. He's not asking for
Fair enough.
response.
I think Entry turns to the others and says, "Well, he thinks things must be dire if he's skipping his nap.
That's to be sure.
But it's a murder. How complicated could this be? There are only so many ways this could have happened. I'm sure."
As Entry says that part, like it's just a murder, essentially, Harken just kind of looks at them wide-eyed and it's like, somebody just was killed. Somebody was murdered. Like,
do you think that this is significant because it happened here, or because we know about them? People are murdered all the time. People die of other reasons even more often. Death is
But
constant. Death
this is Firmament Academy,
or possible,
right? The fact that someone was murdered by a blade with such a mundane means, that part isn't unusual.
That is interesting. That is a very good point, and maybe where we want to start. Why a blade? Are they trying to hide the method? Are they trying to hide themselves behind the mundane method? Has anyone been asked? Do we know what time of day this happened? Was anyone around that we could check with?
maybe we should figure out who the student was in case we know them, because I got a bad feeling we all know who got murdered. And I don't know about you. I'm squeamish of blood.
That's a good idea, Harken. I think perhaps we should find out first and foremost who the student is, and maybe, comfort the friends that they might have and tell the family the tragedy that has occurred.
If you find that is worth your time, then that is your business. Harken, how could you be squeamish of blood when you are full of blood?
Yeah, that's one thing. We're full of blood. It's one thing to know that it
I'm not
exists
full
in
of
you.
blood. I am not full of blood, but I don't have a problem with the blood. You have blood, and yet you have a problem with the blood.
Because it's inside. We have no time to actually unpack why you just said that you don't have blood, but blood stays inside. Blood stays inside. When it's outside, there's a problem, and quite frankly, it's freaky looking. Not good soup.
I am not here to judge your concerns. I appreciate your attempt at explaining them to me. Thank you for your time.
I hear both of you. You're both valid from your personal life experiences. For Harken, blood is important to stay inside of one's body. And for Entry, blood is simply just a substance. But the most important thing we need to do right now is figure out who the student is and figure out who the murderer is. So, shall we make a head start, perhaps?
One moment. Question, GM, above table. Did we have cause to already know the name of this student?
The name is not familiar to you.
Where do you suggest we begin, Dita?
I suppose I by happenstance, perhaps I was in the library and I checked out a book called Murder on the Oriental Express. I don't know if I've ever heard of it, but it seems like it's a book from a completely different realm, but I was fascinated and I read it, all of it. And I think the head investigator inside the book suggested that the best place to start an investigation is always at the scene of the crime. So
Sweet.
maybe we'll go there first.
So we got to see the body.
Maybe not the body, but where the body lie.
Okay, I can work with that.
We could also each do different parts of this if it makes you more comfortable, Harken. I think that the logical approach in any case is for each of us to lean into our strengths. What do you believe your strengths to be in this circumstance?
That's a good question. I can go see how people are doing. Like if we find out who
I believe Dita has already volunteered. Correct me if I don't mean to speak on your behalf. I believe you mentioned that you were going to be taking on the emotional burden and baggage of having to deal with the emotions.
I could do that, but perhaps Harken, you could contact the family and comfort the friends and family of the dead, and I can perhaps, on behalf of the student council, give out a statement so that people do not go into a panic. And perhaps I could draft out some sort of speech, a press release, so to speak.
And I think, Entry, you would probably do better with surveying the scene and seeing the body, as you're not as creeped out by it.
Yes, I would like to go do that, although I would also like to see if I could take a moment to swing by the library to read this Murder on the Orient Express and perhaps any other works by the same author. I should be able to get through however much they've written fairly quickly. I think that might be the first place that I go, unless it is urgent that I go directly to the scene. Do you know if they're protecting the scene? Do you know if anyone is likely to change things about it? If so, perhaps I should go there first.
No, assume the security on campus would have secured the scene, but if you want to swing by the library, I believe the author is filed under the C section. Her name is Agatha Christie, I think. I'm not really sure if I'm pronouncing it correctly, but you'll find it no problem, I'm sure.
Wonderful. Thank you, Dita. You are as helpful as always. Harken, are you comfortable with this assignment of role? Do you believe yourself to be more skilled at attending to the emotional needs of these family members than Dita would be? Or do you think that perhaps you would be more skilled than Dita at delivering this message in a comforting way to the public so that they do not?
I don't want to be in the public. No, thank you. Dita could do that. I could go around talking to people, cold calling them. I could do that fine. So yeah, I'm straight. I'm good. And you can see the sweat just building up on this guy's forehead the moment you say public speaking.
Are you hot? Are you sick? Do you need assistance? Is there anything?
No, I'm anxious. I have anxiety when it comes to talking to large crowds of people. I know I'm smiling. I am terrified.
Are you anxious speaking to us right now?
No, you all are fine. I know you all. I don't know large crowds of people.
So it's about knowing. So if the large crowd was full of people you knew, then you would be okay.
No.
Why?
Large crowds. I just don't like them. They freak me out. Too many people.
Perhaps it is worth trying that sometime, not today, as a way of confronting an irrational fear that is holding you back in your life?
Sure, 10 years from now.
What is happening?
And we'll see what we're doing in 10 years.
Okay. Thank you, Harken. Thank you, Dita. And I think Entry just floats out of the room without further ado and toward the library.
Wonderful. All right, we're entering the downtime phase of the game, during which you each have 2 actions. The choices of action are: make a connection with another character, which will give them links with you. Links are very useful in the missions phase. Help a friend recover, which we won't be using this episode because no one has harm yet, of course. Work on a long-term project, which will start a clock towards a goal that you choose. Or investigation, which is what I think a lot of this that has been discussed falls under, which will help you learn about your antagonist and what's going on. You can also spend time in the lounge in the headquarters to gain 2 experience points in your moon stat. So we'll popcorn this, but who would like to go first with their downtime actions?
I don't mind if we want to. I did realize, and I'm so sorry, Sarah, I should have seen this before. I don't know how I missed it. For future reference, we do not need to retcon what happened. I'm supposed to always roll stars for obligations.
I see. Okay.
But it's also worth noting, since this is our first downtime, and for the folks at home to know this about the Stranger playbook, which I'm playing and which I love, I am not able to make a connection or help a friend recover. Those are mechanically off the table for me for the entirety of the campaign. With that having been said, I think that with the focus on the task at hand and what Entry just described that they want to do, am I able to investigate twice?
Yes.
To investigate at the library and then investigate at the scene of the crime?
You certainly are.
Love it. So then I take plus 1d6 for investigation, apparently, according to this.
Excellent.
So does that mean 2? I'm sorry, am I rolling 2d6 for that?
Okay, so you can do it as an action roll to gather information. So that would be one of the actions that you can use in your sheet: analyze, conceal, confess, defy, empathize, express, flow, forgive, or perceive.
Right. And I only have 1 dot in analyze, conceal, and flow, so I think that means that would be 1 in any of those. And then the plus 1d6 would mean 2, I think.
Correct.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, I'm gonna stick with the same 2 dice that I used before. And I think that the approach to the library and the collected works of Agatha Christie that Entry certainly believes they can read supernaturally quickly in their entirety and take in with all nuance and understanding would be analyze. I think analyze is what I'm going with there.
I'm desperate to know which one of Agatha Christie's book is Entry's favorite.
It's 2 2s is what I
2
got.
2s.
2 2s. That's what I got there.
All right. Yeah. So with 2 2s, you get a result of 2, which means you get to ask 1 question, and you have a list of questions on your sheet that you get to choose from. And we also will advance the track, the investigation track, by 1.
Okay.
All right. What is your question?
Yes. So the 1 question would be, across the entire oeuvre, what is the most salient takeaway for Entry to approach this investigation with?
It would be extremely useful to examine the scene of the crime directly, because while the security of Firmament Academy is very efficient, they are not necessarily the most they're not the brightest, really, as far as you're concerned. So they probably have missed things. You don't know if reading Agatha Christie is going to help, but examining the scene of the crime will definitely be
absolutely. So Entry just jots down a note to give to Dita later, stating Agatha Christie's writing is competent. I found it of great interest that locked room mysteries of various sorts seem to be the strongest. Most notably, it seems that while the investigators are highly competent, the formal officials in charge of taking care of the problem, who are typically not the investigators themselves, prove to be quite less than competent. With that in mind, I'm going directly to the scene of the crime to ensure that their incompetence does not hinder our work. Sincerely, Entry. Just puts it, folds it up, puts it in a little envelope, writes Dita's full name, Perdita, on it, and puts it in their pocket to give to Dita later. Do I do the second move
Yes.
as well? No? Okay, beautiful. So second one is going to be, I think this is their first time. Is this their first time investigating a murder?
It's possible that you helped investigate last year when people were murdered in the incursion then.
Right.
But
Then
that's
beautiful. Then for the sake of variety, rather than simply rely on analyze, I think that Entry floats into the space, makes sure not to touch anything, looks around at anything that looks like somebody's been touching it, asks everyone to give them the room, please, if it is a room. If not, if it's an outdoor area, just sort of give them space, right?
Yeah.
And enters a flow state, taking in the information around them as comprehensively as possible, allowing connections to make themselves in their conscious and subconscious mind, hoping to be one with the problem and see what they find.
All right.
A 4 and a 3.
Okay, with a 4, that will get you one question and one follow-up.
One question and one follow-up.
Yes, and it will also advance the investigation track by 2.
Love it. What evidence of the physical nature of the altercation is available for Entry to observe in this moment?
There is a blood stain, and the blood splatter you quickly can pin down shows that this person was stabbed in the throat while standing. But something that you notice is that not only the blood, it's not only in a spatter pattern, there is blood as though it has been taken and smeared on the wall of the clock tower. It does not look like that was naturally occurring. It looks like someone took that and put it on the stone.
I'm going to take out another piece of paper and start writing. Dear Harken, one of the many reasons why you should confront your entirely irrational inability to engage with your own bodily fluids in a healthy way is right in front of me right now, which is that the information that we need is quite literally seemingly spelled out in blood. You should consider this next time that you are concerned with how it makes you feel, because it can get in the way of what you'd like to do. Sincerely, Entry. Fold that up, put it in another little envelope that they have, put it in a pocket. Take out another piece of paper, start to sketch out the pattern as best I can of the wound itself. I don't know if that was stabbed from the back or the front into the neck.
From the front.
From the front, perfect. So a bit of that wound. Entry is good at everything they try to do, it seems. So really incredibly detailed, hyper-realistic drawing of that, and then turns their attention, it does a little bit also of the geography of the space, if there's anything in terms of like where the body was placed, assuming the body hasn't been moved yet, and if there's any kind of shrubbery or a path or what have you around there, would sketch all that out. And then turn their attention to where I'd like to focus my follow-up question, which is the blood that was smeared on the wall. Is there any discernible pattern, something that seems to be trying to be communicated about it?
There are patterns, and they look clumsy. They look like someone was not very good at their what they were trying to do, or they were rushed because the blood is very sloppy. It's not like the symbols that are clearly being made here are messy, and so it's difficult to pin them down. But they are symbols that you can immediately recognize as being ritualistic, as being ancient, and you would definitely need to look in on this because it's really buzzing your brain with the cryptography of it.
Eidetic memory. So this is more for the others than for myself. Just writing down a copy of the symbols as clearly as I can on this same drawing off to the side. Make a note: cryptography and ancient lore, both luckily Entry's areas of expertise. So quite comfortable with that, feeling like this is going to be wrapped up before supper. And it is so hard, I got to tell you, Sarah, above table, for me not to ask a third question because there's another thing I really want to know, but I'm not technically allowed to, so I'm not going to ask that.
Nope.
Entry didn't notice. Entry didn't think about looking for it because Entry's too sure that they know what's going on. So Entry's just going to float away.
Excellent. Popcorn it to someone. Who's going next?
Oh, I gotta know what Harken's doing.
Okay. So one thing I realized, because and for those of you who know me on the interwebs, I tell you, look at your character sheet. Always look at your character sheet. I get an additional action during downtime.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
I think Harken's going to go off and find out who this person's friends were. Like, find out what the name of the student was, who their friends are. Like, can he get in contact with their family and just kind of like ask, like, just first off, make sure that they're okay. But then ask, like, hey, was there anything going on with them? Was there any trouble?
Okay.
And I think if they're contacting their family, just letting them know, try and as gently as he can tell them, your son has passed on tragically.
All right. Would you call that an investigation?
I feel like either investigation or connections. It's one of the two.
Well, making a connection is we'll give you a link with one of the other characters here.
So investigation then.
So investigation. All right. You can go ahead and roll an action roll that you find appropriate.
I feel like it'll be empathize in this case. Okay. Like, he's reaching out. He's trying to get people calm, trying to get people calm / breaking that hard news. Because for anyone here who's a parent, that's heavy. That's going to hit you in your core. Anyone that just has a friend that, you just saw yesterday, you saw 2 hours ago. What do you mean they're not here? Harken's used to that, unfortunately.
Yeah.
He knows tragedy. So in this case, because I have a point in empathy, this is going to be fun. I'm going to be fighting for my life. Emphasize. How many D6?
If you've got 1 point in it, that's 1 die.
Oh, just 1 die?
Yeah.
Okay. We're gonna go with the unicorn, the prince unicorn one.
Lovely.
Ooh, 6.
Oh, all right. With a 6, you get 2 questions and 1 follow-up. The questions are listed on your character sheet.
when I'm gathering information.
Mm-hmm.
I think the biggest question, like one of the biggest questions here would be who here is feeling remorseful or just feeling the most heartbroken, like out of this.
Yeah. So when you do get to contact the parents, they are obviously number one on that list. But when you talk to the students' friends on campus, there are three people that hung out with him a lot, and I will go ahead and give them names. They are Amber, Kella, and Dio. And they all tell you that this young man was having a great deal of trouble in school and was doing his best to get tutoring outside of that, but he clearly felt like it was overwhelming him. And Kella is 100% the most broken up by this. She is. It's one of those things where she's answering your questions, but then she has to take a minute to cry, and then she can gather herself again to answer some more.
I think Harken hugs her when she has those moments of crying. Like first, like he will ask, like, "Do you want a hug? Like, will that help?"
She does. She accepts your hug. And says, he was such a good friend.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know what he was so scared of in school. He was great, you know?
Was there anyone that was messing with him or, talking bad about him, like to cause all this? Like,
he didn't get along well with Professor Fizzywig in the advanced alchemy class that he was in. The professor seemed to pick on him a lot. But other than that, I can't think of anything.
and I imagine during this conversation, they would tell us the student's name, like who this person was.
Yes. His name was, I gave it a minute ago and I've already forgotten it, which is why I keep saying the student.
Yeah.
Albert.
There we go. Let me just put these in my notes real quick. Hold on. Albert.
Mm-hmm. Albert.
There we go.
Good old Albert. So that was one question. You get one more and a follow-up.
I guess my brain keeps saying, where can I find beauty here? It's such a weird question, but in death, there's sometimes is beauty. So where can I find beauty here in this tragedy? Where can I find hope for someone?
Albert's friends obviously are very upset about this. You can tell that there was a lot of closeness there. Like, this was not just a casual friend group, right? These people were together in sort of them against the world, right? They were, I don't want to say a clique, but they were definitely enmeshed together like that.
Mm-hmm.
And so there's a lot of beauty in the grief and in the love that the grief comes from.
If I may say something to them, as someone who's, this is also both me and Harken kind of talking simultaneously. I think Harken would say they're alive as much as you remember them. As long as they don't fade from your memory, they are here with you. And whatever pains and struggles and things that kept them up late at night, they're free of it. They're no longer in pain. That doesn't diminish your pain, though. Cry, scream, punch a punching bag. But they're still here as long as you remember them. And you can at least say that they're not stressed out or freaking out or being picked on anymore.
That's a hard message for someone to take, obviously, when they're in the midst of grieving. But they do the best that they can when they are in this state, which is to nod and appreciate what you said, and you can tell that you've touched them, that they're not ignoring you, they're not dismissing you, they're listening. It's just that it's right now it's very fresh, so it's So you have one follow-up.
So when it comes to a follow-up, is it still like the questions that I have, or
no? You can just follow up with whatever you want.
Like what? When if it with my investigation or making a connection or doing anything like that?
No, just it's continuing. Sorry, continuing in this conversation. You can say one more thing, or ask one more thing, or do one more thing with them.
Okay. I think he would ask them. I think he would ask them, like, what time did this happen? Like, was he going to class? Was he hanging out with anyone? Like, was there anyone there that would have possibly saw him before all this happened?
Yeah, they all look at each other. They look at each other and something passes between them. Where as though they are agreeing on something without saying it. And they all shake their head and say that they aren't sure. They know that it happened around the evening when the firmament was getting a little darker, but no one had seen him or knew where he was going at that time. Just he just was there for something. They don't even know why he would be there behind the clock tower.
Could I pick up what they were trying to, like, basically whisper towards each other?
With your role, I will say that you can tell that there's something that they're not saying. So
with my extra downtime, could I continue this line of investigation?
You can make another investigation roll. Speaking of investigation rolls, I need to advance the investigation track for your last one. Because you guys are investigating the heck out of this.
Good, because I'm not doing anything.
for the investigation. But you're doing other very important things, like sure that the people don't panic, right?
I'm trying to think. Would it be analyze, conceal, or flow, or would it be perceive? I think it would be perceive because he's seeing them talk.
Mm-hmm.
He sees that they're saying something that they're not saying out loud. So let's go with perceive. I don't have a point in that. How many dice do I roll in this case?
2 rolls, take the lower.
You can also push yourself if you want to.
You can push yourself.
All right. So I got 2 6s.
Well, you don't need to push yourself at all, do you?
You don't need to push yourself.
I must just show you what I'm working with because I got these dice while I was seeing my girlfriend in Ohio. This one has roses in it. This has a unicorn on it.
Beautiful.
So good.
Oh my god!
Because they call
you need
me.
to send us the links to that deck.
Oh, absolutely. Because I am their most wonderful princess.
I love it. So great.
Wonderful. I love it. So yes. So with a 6, again, that's 2 questions and 1 follow-up. You guys are raking it in. You're gonna challenge me to keep things mysterious here with all your investigating.
I think the question here is
bless us.
Oh, I had 2 other sets I had to put up because these were the ones they gave me last year. They were rolling hot, and I said I gotta put y'all up so people don't think I'm doing funkiness. Now I got these guys. It's about to get crazy again. I think the most important question though to ask here is who here is strong or vulnerable? Because perceiving someone, you're trying to see who would break under pressure. Harken is not going to, be the most aggressive person in the room. But when you get bullied, when you get messed with a lot, you start recognizing who's the ringleader and who's the subordinates and which one would turn tail and backstab everyone else if it meant for their own survival.
Mm-hmm.
So he's trying to see who here is the most strongest and who here is the most vulnerable.
Okay. So the strongest, as far as what you can see, surprisingly, who broke the most, who cried the most, Kella, you can see a good deal of resolve inside behind those tears. And vulnerability, Amber is probably the most vulnerable. She's the one most likely to, she's the one who's not, there's more reluctance in her, you can see. So that was question 1.
And so for question number 2, this is going to be pointed towards Amber. It's it's either what are you really feeling or what is most dangerous here. But is there a way to spin it where I can ask a more direct question?
By all means.
Can I ask him just straight up, as Harken, just I understand this is a lot. I understand there's so much going on. You just your friend. I know. And I think they're going to take their hand to initiate that physical contact. If there's anything though, so that I can help you find more peace, so that I can help you sleep better at night, that we're on the right track.
So Amber does that thing with her eyes where it's very quick. Doesn't want you to see that she is looking at the others, but she does do a quick look over at the others in a sort of a nervous way. And she shakes her head and denies that there's anything else that she has to say. But when the others aren't looking, she slips you a note that says to meet her afterwards. And when you go to that meeting, she looks very frightened. She says, he was afraid of something, but it was like he'd been afraid for a while, and it was like a sun came up, like there was a chance to get out of his depression, his worry. It was like everything would be all right, and he wouldn't tell us what it was, but I think he went to meet someone. I think he went to meet someone who would help him, and I don't know, and they didn't help him.
And Harken would take their hand and say, slow and steady. You don't have to say the hurtful things out loud. If slow and steady.
Look, we always protected him, when he was bullied, or when the professors bullied him, but and the others wouldn't want me to talk about his problems, because it's like ratting on your friend, and it's even worse now that he's gone. But I think it's important. I think that whoever was leading him to find, slow down, Amber.
Mm-hmm. Breathe.
Whatever was leading him to, I think it was a trap. I think that they meant him harm, and now he's gone.
And I think he would be really happy that you're saying all this now. As someone who is bullied and made fun of, I wish I had friends like you. People who would stand up for me, who would be worried about me, call me, text me, make sure I'm okay. You're doing good. You're going to do so much better moving forward. This is going to sit in your head to be the first and last time something like this happens. And I know you're going to do better. But until then, I'm so sorry that this happened.
Thank you.
I won't bother you anymore. It's a long day. And school hasn't even, what time is it? And we got phones in this world, right?
Yeah, you got phones.
What time is it?
Yeah, it's I don't know, you choose.
I would say
it's not important to the plot, so
okay. I would say it's like just hitting 12 o'clock. It's
okay.
Just hitting 12. School is not even halfway finished. It's early. And I think he'll bring that up like it's still early. Take your time. If you need to ditch class, I don't think anyone blame you. Take care of yourself. Take care of your friends.
I will. Thank you. And
He'll give Amber a hug and walk off.
Yeah. All right. You get a follow-up, though, if you want to follow up.
Is there any way to follow up that lead of like who this person was? Like try to nah, because Amber told me everything I need to know. The other two ain't gonna tell me nothing. Nah, I'm good. We're gonna move on.
Okay.
I have a suggestion for you if you want.
Sure.
I feel like you can ask, like, what is one little thing you can do to make Amber's day better?
Okay, I like that.
Yeah.
Let's do that. Like, what can I do? And just not specifically for Amber, maybe the rest of the friend group. I also didn't want to take up too much more screen time because I was like, I'm doing a lot of investigation work. I don't want these two to be bored.
Nothing boring about
I'm not
it.
bored at all. It's great.
Yeah, this is awesome.
So it's the question of how to help someone who is grieving a death is a question that is better left to saints and philosophers than to a silly game master like me. But I think that you are able to give them the comfort of knowing that you're on the case, you know?
Yeah.
That someone is working on this, and this is not going to happen. You know, I mean, it's a promise you can't necessarily fulfill, but this is not going to happen again. You know, that there is safety to be found. If there's a way to communicate to that to them, then that will be the most stabilizing thing.
And I think that happened when he was mentioning that this will be the first. This is going to be something that's hardwired into your head. This is the first and last time that something like that happens. The first and last time you said, I'm not going to tell anyone of my friend's business, anything of the sort, because, you know, that's their private. No, you see something, you say something, something's going on with your friend, you go talk to somebody, you go approach your friend. Hey, what's up? What's going on? Even if you don't got the answers, you hang out with them, you go out with them, you give them something to eat, you get them out, like you get them out the house, anything, something. Just being there, being present. You ain't got to have the right words. You just need to be a comforting presence.
Yes. And that does, you can tell that there is some comfort being found, in as much as there can be comfort found for that. And I think you have one more action.
I do, because
I think
I have
you've done 2 investigation rolls.
Mm-hmm.
And you said you had 3, right?
No, just 2. I have additional downtime, so I should have one. How many downtimes do we have?
We start with 2. Everyone has 2,
everyone has
but you
2.
get an extra one.
Oh, okay. God. So what are all my actions that I could do again? I think we're good with investigation.
Yeah, you can make a connection with another character. Help a friend recover, which there's no friends to help recover right now. Work on a long-term project or investigation, or you can just spend time in the lounge.
You can work on a long-term project if you have anything that you are working on.
And the lounge also has a mechanical benefit, right? It increases moon. I think
it gives you 2 experience points to your moon stat. Yes.
I kind of want to see what's going on with everyone else. Like, check in with everyone else.
Okay. That sounds
maybe
like
build a
making
connection.
Yeah. Who would you like to make a connection with today?
Let's go see what Entry's doing. much to his chagrin of how Entry is.
Yeah.
He's just like, but that's my boy Entry.
Yeah.
Let me go check him out.
Yeah. So
right,
do you sorry, Sarah, go ahead.
I was just going to say, so suggest something that you and Entry could do together, and then you will get to make a roll about that. And if it's something that also would be good to Entry, if Entry also feels that this is an activity that they would appreciate, then you get an extra die.
Now, question mechanically. Since the stranger is a stranger to kindness, that's technically what part of this is called, and cannot make a connection or help a friend to recover in downtime. Do I have the option to appreciate what they're doing, or would I automatically, like from a mechanical perspective, not be able to?
I'd say that if it fits with something that they would appreciate in your mind, then we can get that extra die.
Cool beans. Cool. Thank you.
I feel like Entry is going to there's gonna my brain says there's like a conversation of logistics when it comes to emotions and feelings and what's going on in people's heads. And I think Harken would explain that to Entry about who he just talked to, what was going on, what they were feeling, their thoughts, things like that, and just the grief that they were feeling, the sadness that was coming from them, but also the complexity of human beings. Because to Harken, it was just like, why are you hiding something, like something valuable? Like, you want to help your friend. Help your friend.
I do think Entry would find that useful and interesting. Harken, I'm surprised at you. You're being quite logical. I'm impressed with the way that you utilized the feelings of this person to achieve your ends. That was well done from what I am hearing, which is surprising and a sign of your growth. So congratulations on that. I do have this for you, by the way, and I hand you the letter that I wrote before to you. Keep this in mind for your further education. Alongside the emotional manipulation of this vulnerable person who just lost their loved one.
It's not emotional manipulation. I just, it's less emotional manipulation and calling on their better parts. It's telling them to act. And I got a bad feeling that this letter is as hurtful as your other ones.
I do not intend any harm with any of these letters. They're all meant to assist you in your further development of yourself.
I know. Just sometimes the way you word things are a little
accurate,
a little rough,
direct.
Let's say direct.
I don't see how being indirect would help you. It would only cause you to be less good at the things you're already not good at for longer. I think that I will try to find ways to be direct to you that you find more useful. Perhaps I will learn to be emotionally manipulative in the same way that you just were with this person.
More like, let's add some fluff. Versus manipulation is a terrible word to use here. Some fluff, some padding before you hit them. Not metaphorically, not physically. Like you pad them up first before you give them the hard hitting information.
I understand. So in order to prepare them for what they need to hear, you persuade them to be in the mindset that you would like them to be in, to be receptive to that. And this is somehow distinct, in your view, from emotional manipulation in some manner that is somehow escaping me.
Persuade's a lot better versus manipulate. We're just making sure they're in a calmer state.
I see semantics are important to you, and I will make a note of that for future use. I will attempt to use semantics or I will attempt to consider semantics when phrasing my letters to you in future so that I may persuade you better. Does that sound amenable to you?
Yeah, we'll work with that. We'll work with that.
I am genuinely grateful for your attempts at helping me connect with a part of human experience that I do not experience myself. Thank you for taking the time to do that and for displaying some real and meaningful patience when it comes to that. I myself don't know that I'm going to get quite far with it, but I am happy to continue these exercises as long as you
will get far. You will. It just, being a person is hard. Yes. It's not easy being a person because there's a lot of factors going into things, people telling you things that you see, the things we see on our phones. Being a person's hard, and you're not doing a bad job. Just being a little nicer, just a little nicer, and you're going to do great. You're going to get there.
Is nice always good?
Sometimes, but sometimes doing good also means doing what you do, but doesn't mean you can't do both.
Interesting. I will take that under advisement. You are much wiser than you appear, Harken.
We're going to teach you about backhanded compliments next, because
All right.
I attempted to compliment you from the front. Speaking of from the front, and I'm going to take out the drawing of the incredibly detailed drawing of the stab wound.
Okay.
They seem to have stabbed this Albert, I think their name was, from the front. So that suggests there was some kind of intimacy involved. They were talking at the time. They had a chance to get in close. There was trust, I would imagine, that was set up. Otherwise, I can't understand why anyone would allow someone to get that close to them from the front. If it was from the back, I would have assumed they could have been surprised, but this doesn't suggest surprise. There are also these drawings here, and I show you a little bit of that. We'll need to bring Dita up to speed, and I will be doing some research on my side of this. I don't expect you all to do any heavy lifting on the ancient lore or cryptography, although you're welcome to assist if you would like.
I would like to do that once I find a bucket to go puking, because that is a lot. And he goes off to find a bucket.
Make a note to myself, try to have a bucket in the room next time you have a difficult conversation with your friends about emotional manipulation and the complexities of the human experience.
Lovely. All right, so the mechanical benefit of that scene was you get to make a roll, an appropriate action roll, depending on what skill you use. And you get plus one to the die for Entry's assistance with it. And that will give some links.
I also get a +1 when rolling to make a connection.
Oh,
plus
okay.
one die.
So that's three. That's 3 whole dice you get to roll.
And I think, would this be confess? Or no, this will be express. I think this is more of an express moment. Because I have 0 points in that. Would it just be the 3 die in general?
So if it's 0 and you're adding 2, so you do 2 dice.
2 dice.
Yeah.
So 2 dice in total?
Yeah, total 2 dice total.
Okay. 4.
All right, with a 4, Entry gets 3 links to you that Danny can put on the sheet. It's on the bottom left of the sheet, I believe, where the links are.
Thank you.
And if you also look on your sheet, it will tell you how links work, what you can do with them during the mission phase. That's on your sheet, right? I think.
It says you or linked protagonist recover 2 stress. They ignore 1 harm tag, grant +1 d6 to allies' action, and prevent their eclipse on a 4 out of 5 result.
Right. So very useful things, links. And now we move to the downtime phase for Perdita.
Yeah, so I think it is a perfect segue as we see Harken going in search of a bucket. I think Dita is very appropriately on this campus assigned to be sort of the role of a radio host, because she's a singer. She has a beautiful voice and all of that. So she has perhaps like this afternoon program, and she's using this to make that announcement to the student body. And I would like to combine that activity to the downtime action of making a connection with Harken. Because when we first met, and throughout the time that we have gotten to know each other, Dita has perhaps not, phrased it to Harken himself, but she has made a promise to him, in which no matter what haunts us in the dark, we will be a light for each other. So she's making this speech to the public. We are pumping out some mechanics here. So Dita has this ability called the perfect pitch. which is your voice is polyphonic and eerily beautiful. Your allies can always hear you speak, regardless of distance or other interference. When you sing to inspire allies or soothe the troubled hearts of foes, roll +1 die. So she's actually going to start this program with a bit of a song. And apologize because I'm suffering from flu, so my voice is not the best. But she is going to sing a little bit of something like, black clouds are behind me, I now can see ahead. Often I wonder why I try, hoping for an end. Sorrow weighs my shoulders down and trouble haunts my mind. But I know the present will not last, and tomorrow will be kinder. And this is for the student body, but specifically for mechanic purposes, this is for the purpose of creating a connection with Harken, right?
Mhm.
And then she will then kind of move on to this speech, and she will say, "Good afternoon, everyone." And this is in her like radio host voice, which does not have her usual accents, and continues as, "And I understand today has been frightening. When something terrible happens in a place that meant to feel safe, such as our school, it shakes us. Fear spreads faster than facts, and silence can feel heavier than noise. What you're feeling right now is understandable." And in the background, we hear puking noise. And I want you to breathe with me. Inhale and exhale. Right now, you are here. I am here. You're surrounded by people who care. And the Academy is not ignoring what has happened. And you have not been forgotten. You do not need to solve this yourselves. And you do not need to be on guard every second. Fear asks us to imagine the worst, to fill the empty space with noise. But this school and everyone within it was built to endure. We are stronger than we can ever imagine ourselves to be. And that strength exists because the world is dangerous. There are things that might happen every moment in the day that is not expected by us. But we together will learn how to face that together. So please take a look towards your left and take a look towards your right. You are not alone. You are never alone. And if you feel unsafe ever, reach out a hand and you will see that someone is to take it. If you ever feel overwhelmed, close your eyes and listen. There is going to be a soothing voice just around the corner. And there is no shame to admitting that you are afraid. There is no shame in admitting that you need to hold onto one another, to choose calm over panic, to choose to nourish yourself over doing something that you consider or other people consider productive. Let's be gentle with ourselves today, and let's be kind to ourselves, and we will stay together. Kind of a speech like that. And I think I would like to roll empathize, if that's possible.
Yeah.
And I have 1 dot in empathize. And on top of that, because I have an additional die from the perfect pitch, and I'm also going to push myself. So I'm going to roll 3 die total. And I don't know if Harken would be able to give me another die since we're trying to make a connection here.
I'm looking at my abilities.
Well, if that was something that resonated with Harken, then that's something that you can give them.
Oh yeah, I think somewhere in somebody's bathroom, as you know, I'm not going to make the puking sounds because people are sympathetic pukers, and it's just like, nope, I'm not doing that to you. He would hear this and just be like, we stand together. We move forward together. Oh, and just starts puking.
Yeah.
Having a bad time.
Great. So I'm rolling a total of 4 die, and
Nice.
I've got 2 1s, a 5, and a 6. So we're gonna take that 6.
Yeah. Wow. Okay, that is 4 links. 4 links that Harken gets.
All right.
Great.
Nice.
And my second downtime action would be a hanging out in the lounge.
Nice.
Yeah. Just hanging out, relaxing, getting some XP.
I don't want to take up too much screen time because I want to kind of propel the story forward a little bit. So
yeah,
I have the power to make this short and sweet.
Yes, you do. All right, go ahead and mark 2 XP in your moon as you hang out in the lounge and rest a little bit.
And just to clarify, to push myself, I mark 2 stress, right?
Yes.
Okay, great.
And so the downtime phase ends, and there is no more time, because at this time, Kella emerges from where she has been. Her body is surrounded by flickering shadow as she walks through campus, sword out and ready. And those unfortunate enough to encounter her can hear a faint, flickering whisper that echoes around her, seemingly coming from the shadows themselves. Anyone who stands in her way and does not let her pass meets her blade. The school is filled with chosen, but the majority are unbonded and thus unable to transcend and meet the danger. But some are trying. We see Kella now halted near the campus fountain, facing down Yura, the captain of the school's fencing team. Yura's rapier flashes with incredible speed and grace, but Kella's strength is superhuman right now and implacable, and Yura will not hold her off for long. And that is how we will begin our mission phase. And the student council must face a creature of the abyss, the shadowy menace that Kella has now become. We begin with the engagement roll. You have 1 die as the base of this roll. The mission is to protect the students, but also to protect yourselves, so I'm not going to give or take any die for nobility or selfishness. Regarding information, with the amount of investigation you've done into the matter, I'm going to add another die, because gosh, did you investigate that stuff. I'm going to add another die for your connection with Kella. And that gives you 3 dice to roll for engagement. Who would like to roll?
I'm happy to.
All right.
Okay. That's a 4.
4. All right. We cut to the action, which is a cool thing that Girl by Moonlight does. We cut to the action. You've been able to get all of the students to a safe distance away, preventing further casualties. You are closing in on Kella, who is still facing down Yura. Yura has had to give a lot of ground, though, and is bleeding from several shallow cuts, but is still slowing the corrupted woman's advance towards the clock tower. Just as you focus on them, though, something happens. Kella's shadows darken and then split into 2 shadowy simulacrums, each with its own shadowy blade, and all 3 Kellas strike at once, overwhelming Yura's defenses. The captain of the fencing team falls, a deep wound in their thigh. How does the student council meet this danger?
Entry is focused on the blade. Not the 2 shadow blades, the main blade. And entry will simply float through the middle of this space, entirely unfazed, not particularly paying attention to the wound on the thigh. Eyes fixed not on Kella, but on the blade, and would like to empathize with it using things feel. You can empathize with non-human things as if they were people. If you use this to gather info, you may ask questions from any playbook currently in play. So I'd like to question the blade.
Okay. All right. Go ahead and make a roll to get information.
All right. Now, question. It allows me to empathize with non-human things as if they were people. I don't have anything in empathy. So I'm rolling 2d6, pick lower, right? It says I can ask any questions from any playbook currently in play. So I guess that would mean the playbooks of my two companions.
That's correct.
Perfect. Okay, so I may need a second to look up those playbooks to be able to see the questions. It's a 2 and a 4, so it's a 2 for me.
Okay, that gives you one question.
I think entry is quite comfortable with their own capabilities. So although there's a lot here, no, you know what? That's not true. Entry has just had a very interesting conversation with Harken. Harken unexpectedly impressed them. And so taking a page from that is going to think, what would Harken want to know? And I ask the blade, what is most dangerous here?
You approach floating through the quad and focus on this sword. This sword, I'm going to give you this for free. The sword is familiar.
Interesting.
It's a simple arming sword by the look of it, a traditional knight sword. But the handle is a black wood, and the end of the hilt is carved in a specific way that brings up a memory that doesn't quite come to the top of your mind immediately, but you know that this is familiar. And you're asking it, what is most dangerous here?
Mm-hmm.
And the answer that you get from the sword directly in your mind, I am.
It's not the girl, it's the blade. Just out to the room.
Mm-hmm.
I think if you were finished with your turn.
Yeah, 100%.
I think as Harken is like getting the rest of the students inside of like safety, he hears entry say this, turns around, sees Kella with the blade, with the shadows, seeing all this violence. And as entry says, it's not the girl, it's the blade. This is going to be a moment of rushing recklessly, because Harken is going to see that blade and just think, if we get it off of her, Kella goes back to normal, and then we can figure out what is going on.
All right.
So I think we're going to use, let me see, in this case, would flow work? What is flow in this case?
Flow. I have it on a sheet, actually.
Flow does has to do with like movement and things. So if you're like rushing towards her, it could be a thing.
Yes, flow. When you flow, you move with grace and adapt to your circumstances.
So I would say it's flow. I have no points in flow, but that's okay.
Yeah.
And I would just roll 2d6 and take the lowest of the two, correct?
That's correct. Although someone could help you if they wish to give you a die by taking stress themselves, they can assist. And you can also push yourself to give yourself another die if you wish.
I'll take some stress. I'm already in there. I think if Entry sees Harken rushing forward, Entry's immediately going to think, Harken, you don't like other people's blood. Do you think you're going to like your own blood all over this? He's going to want to rush forward and try to help Harken not inconvenience the investigation.
Entry, you take 1 stress, and Harken gets 1 extra die.
And I think with Entry saying that, Harken is going to push themselves.
Right. Harken takes
And-
2 stress.
And with that, I had to make a poison promise. And I think is it me I make the poison promise? Like, do I make it, or do you, the GM, give me one?
I am happy to give you one, but if you've got one on mind.
I think his brain goes to whatever it takes. Whatever it takes to save someone, whatever it takes to get someone back to the light. Whatever it takes.
So with a poison promise, I think that is going to be, you're going to take some harm for this.
Mm-hmm.
Would that be something I can protect him from?
Yes, you can take it yourself if you wish.
I will protect.
Okay. All right. So you're going to take the harm then. So let's say Harken dives towards the sword to try to wrest it from Kella. He is going to, this sword is moving faster than you can see. So there is going to be some damage, but Dita sees that this is happening and is able to get in the way of this.
Okay.
So Dita, you're going to take a level 1 harm. And we will call it. This is the part I'm always so bad at. What do I call these things? We'll just call it nicked.
Okay.
So,
if I may kind of yes and that,
mm-hmm.
Could it be something along the line of like a tremor because musical
Mm-hmm.
things?
Yes, absolutely. All right, but you get 2 extra die for this.
So rolling 4 in total, and I take the highest or the lowest of the 4.
Wait, you're rolling. Okay, so I thought you had a 0.
Yes.
Okay, so 0 plus 2 is 2, right?
Yes. Okay, cool.
But you do take the higher.
Sure. Oh, I could take the higher in this case. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, that's a 5.
A 5. Wonderful. Okay. So with this and with Dita's help, you jump to get this, and you manage not to grab the blade. You manage to grab Kella's hand.
I like to think, as Entry said, like, do you really want to get blood on yourself? It's like his hand goes towards the blade for a moment and it's like, sharp bit, grabs them by their wrist.
So yes, so you grab the hand and you're in a grip with her, wrestling for the sword now.
Mm-hmm.
I want to do something after that.
Mm-hmm.
So I think Dita is, everything about her is about music, right? And she sees that the blade, she hears Entry saying that the blade is the problem, not the girl, right? So I think what she is going to do is to focus on this blade, and every material, single thing on this planet has a frequency. So she wants to use her voice, she wants to use her power to somehow focus on this blade and shatter it somehow. But before she does that, she is going to actually transcend. So you see her pink and blue, very pastel colored outfit starts to kind of almost like fold in on itself a little bit, and along the edges you start to see dark violet and crimson red, and on her back, where at the base of her neck extends outward this spectral head. And the two heads are facing away from each other, but for the bystander, you just see this half grotesque, half gorgeous face with like almost this emo makeup, right? And the eyeliner is deep and dark, and there is this constant silvery black tear that is dripping from the eye. And then the two voices evaporate, like, what's the word? Explode, I guess, from her in this fugue state, and she's trying to match the blade's frequency with the two voices in harmony. And I wonder if it's possible to do this, because I do have a transcendent ability called Us One. So if I may lead this as a group action or receive an assistant while transcendent, I can briefly incorporate others into my harmony, and I may roll the highest action rating amongst all participants instead of my own action rating.
Are we all allowed to assist, or is it only one person?
Only one person.
You're
gets
all
to-
allowed.
Oh, really?
Because this is so either it's a group action, you all participate, or you
Right.
know, one of you assist me.
Gotcha.
Cool.
might
Yeah,
happen there.
so I was thinking, so I have 1 point in express, and I figured this might be express, or possibly defy. So let me know if anybody has like more dots in either one of those.
I've got nothing on both, so
I'm empty.
Okay.
But do we need to in order to assist, or
No. If you want to assist, you still can.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like Harken's right there in the middle of it, like he wrestling with this person to get their sword. Yeah, he kind of hard not to.
I think that Entry's form of assistance would be focused on dispassionate analysis. Entry has not felt the need to transcend yet, is looking to see if it's necessary and wants to understand what is happening here. So just watching what is occurring. If there's anything that in that analysis seems important, Entry will shout it out in the same manner as before.
Yeah. Great. So I guess I have 3 die on this. All right, that's going to be a 5.
5. Okay. All right. 5 is a mixed success. All right. Let me lay this out for you. So first of all, Harken, you have your hands around Kella's hand as you're wrestling for the sword. And this blade which spoke to Entry, speaks now to you in your mind. Even though you do not have the power to speak to inanimate objects, apparently it has the power to speak to you. And it says, do you even know who you are? And then, but then Perdita's note sounds out and harmonizes with the metal in the sword, and it begins to vibrate. And it connects. This Kella is looking very frustrated right now and is pulling back. She has the power of the shadows around her and is able to wrest her hand from Harken's. But the vibration of the sword from the note that is being sung, it is not shattering the sword, because the sword is more than a sword. It is the sword of truth.
Hmm.
And as it rings its bell-like note, as it harmonizes with the sound that is being made, Kella winces back as she feels something overcome her, and you are given a chance to move in unharmed or try something else, because she is briefly taken aback by this. Harken, you were not able to wrest it from her because, of course, you are not transcended. But possibly something could be done here now that she is distracted and in pain.
I feel like, if I may, Harken will look back at Entry and say, Entry! Help!
Fine. And Entry transcends into a state of impossibility, revealing themselves to be, in truth, a living wish. Whenever anyone looks upon them, what they see is their heart's greatest desire made manifest. They lose themselves in that thought. As Entry transcends into this physically impossible state, well beyond the constraints of physical reality, Entry pushes themselves, taking 2 more stress for those playing it along at home. That's just 1 away from a clip, and is going to take the first action on their transcendence track here, I believe, because they would like to push themselves in order to be able to compel the non-human things around them to change themselves to suit their needs. So Entry is going to take this non-human thing, this sort of truth, and compel it to turn itself into a tiny, blunt toy.
All right.
And it'll do so simply by speaking, if it's okay, to the sword and say, you can do no harm here. And getting it to believe it.
All right. Okay, you're pushing yourself, so you get an extra die on that roll.
Yeah. Now, for that, what would the basis be? Is that a selection in the same way in terms of like I'd have to pick what I'm using? Great. So I think that's a flat roll then, because it's going to need to be something. Well, let me ask this question. I don't know if I'm right about this, but I saw something that indicates that since we are at the brink of the abyss, right? It seems there is something for, feel free to tell me I'm wrong if I'm wrong about this, something for the stranger I think specifically in Hope is Strength series ability. I don't know if we're doing that series ability or not. I was looking, and I'm not seeing Hope is Strength in the screenshot you sent me, so I might be wrong.
No, the series ability that was taken is never alone. You may teamwork regardless of the distance separating you.
Copy. And then, can you remind me if it's okay what the series Transcendence is? Tapping into a wellspring of hope.
For it.
So the thing about Hope is Strength is when we are transcendent, we get a dot in Forgive, Empathize, and Flow from the transcendent side of the track.
Yes.
Yeah.
So since I'm transcendent in this moment, I'd actually I'd love to make, because I still don't think that entry would be empathizing exactly, although counterpoint to that is empathizing with an object is canonically something that they do. So it could be empathize if you find that more fitting than flow. But in this moment, my argument for flow is in this moment of transcendence, as they become a living wish, they are attempting to touch the source of magic that is wishing in this world and wish into being the transcendence of this object of harm into an object that does not cause harm. Convincing it that the truth of its own nature, it being a sort of truth, is that it does not do harm. As that is a form of wish, I see that as something coming out of them becoming one with the flow of the universe. Don't know if that fits flow. If not, happy to do it as empathize.
Flow is fine by me.
Cool beans. So I believe that is 3 die, because I have 2 dots in flow right now, and then I have the 1 from pushing myself. That is a 1 and a 1 and a 3.
Oh my god.
That lot of good that did me. But
you can make a poison promise if you want.
Can I?
Yeah.
I'll do that. I mean, I don't know if that's available to me. I didn't know if that was just for Harken, but yeah, if Poison Promise is available to me, I think in this moment, Entry simply wants to get this done. Would be happy.
Yes. Your Poison Promise, if you wish to use it, is that if you make this connection with the Sword of Truth, it will also make a connection with you.
Love it. Do I put that under links, or is that...
No, it's going to as you convince it to do something, it will give you some convincing of its own, basically.
Absolutely. I think that is very fitting, because in opening myself up as a living wish to this item of unknown provenance and power, although I do obviously now remember where I remember it from, I am open to it. I am vulnerable in that way to what it may say back.
All right. So I believe a Poison Promise gives you an extra die.
That's a 5.
A 5 is better.
Better.
Okay. So while Kella is wincing and the sword is vibrating, you go to it and you look upon it and you tell it that it can do no harm here, that its nature is harmless. And it looks into you and it tells you, but your nature is not harmless. You are harm personified, and you don't even know it. And then the sword falls from her hand and fades away before it hits the ground, so there's not even a sound. And Kella stares at her hand, and she looks more frightened than you can imagine a person looking. It falls to the ground.
Can I rush to grab them before they hit the ground?
You can. I won't even make you roll for that. You can you rush, you grab her as she is falling, and because you do this, you are able to hear the words that she whispers as her body begins to rot away. And the words are, "You're rotting too, just like me."
Could I somehow, in this moment, almost like capture an essence? Because the very idea of Perdita's, so currently Fuguea,
Mm-hmm.
she is an embodiment of echoes in harmony.
Mhm.
So she, by her nature, she has this desperate like instinct to preserve the echo, to preserve the things that are meant to like fade away and try to capture it. So I think she's gonna try to reach out and prevent her from rotting away, and at the
Okay.
same time just like almost an action to stabilize everything, to make sure that like it is not that the blade let me rewind a little bit.
Mhm.
So when you put pressure on something, it kind of goes this yo-yo action, right? Like harm begets harm, in a way. So she's trying to create this balance. She's trying to like kind of try to suspend everything so that, you know, by what we are doing, by you know, through what we are doing, we do not condemn anybody. If that makes sense.
Mhm.
So she's sort of still focusing on the blade and focusing on Kella, and by extension, perhaps focusing on Entry, who is now connected to this blade. And we'll just softly, and you hear two voices, one almost gravelly and one very angelic and soft, that says, everything is made. Everything is made to answer to something else. Stone remembers pressure. Steel remembers fire. A blade remembers the hand that asks it to cut. We're going to listen to each other. I bring you my own echo, and I hope that your echo can bring me peace. And I bring you the breath in between my two selves and a harmony that you were never taught to hear. So I hope you can feel the connection in between your two selves and do no more harm. I am not here to unmake you. I'm here to remind you that even steel can be soft. Even a blade can be tired of holding itself into a standard of cutting other things. So resonate with me and echo with me. Answer to yourself and answer to me, and be free from the form that binds you. And I'm hoping to use flow, since it's kind of like making a solid into a liquid, into a melody. And especially since when we transcended, currently flow is better, making that argument. So and I'm going to push myself again to just make it happen. I'm gonna take 2 more strength and roll 3 die with a 5.
Okay. That was enough. That was enough to you speak to her. You in both of your harmonized voices, you reach out and connect and flow, and you touch the nature of Kella that is being pulled away to make her into nothingness. And you are able to encourage her to pull that back. And miraculously, her body's rotting away has reversed, and she was halfway gone, right? It was a fast process, but now it's coming back, and she is unconscious, but she is not gone. And so you have protected the academy, you have saved Kella, and you have learned much. And
I don't know
that
about the rest of you, but I feel as though the more answers I got today, the more questions that I have.
I think I know more. When you mentioned that the sword faded out and did not quite fall, did it turn into a toy, or did it cease to exist completely?
it ceased to exist completely, apparently.
As far as we could tell.
Yeah.
Look at where it could have fallen and say, I suppose it's good that even the toy version is not here. I seem that I cannot be trusted with it. I look over at Harken. Would you get, what was her name?
Kella?
Kella, right. Would you get Kella, please, or assist Fuguea here? I should not. And just starts to float away.
I'm gonna kind of pull Entry to the side, because I think this is something that he will understand more than Harken, and say, you're the one who is logical, and you understand this more than Harken, whatever. But I know a thing or two about things that disappear that has not actually disappeared. Every time I look into a mirror, I see it. The part of me that I shunted away, it's still there. You see it. You see it when I transform. Even when I try to reject her every single day, she comes back. And I'm trying to understand and trying to realize whether it is easier or whether it's appropriate to, whether it's logical to accept every single part of myself. But regardless of my own personal quest, and regardless of how much of that you understand or care to understand, all I know is that blade probably didn't disappear. It's simply somewhere else.
Yes. Yes. I don't know what you're going through. I will say all of you exists, whether you accept it or not. What you do with that is not my business. I believe you are correct. The blade exists. What I can guarantee is that the blade can do no harm. That is as true as its existence, and I believe is not bound by anything but its existence. For it to be untrue would be for it to not exist. However, I am quite harmful. I think you know something about that yourself. And
I understand.
I would recommend that you engage in some of the logic you were asking about, and look upon me with as much skepticism as you look upon or think about that blade.
I look upon you with as much skepticism as I look upon myself, Entry. You are as harmful as any of us at the Firmament Academy. The blade is, of course, not harmful unless it's wielded by someone who is and any of us has the potential to be harmful.
That
What
is fair.
matter is what we do about it.
Indeed. That is fair, and that is reasonable, as far as I can tell. I do think in this case, the blade was also independently harmful and had been probably controlling. I'm sorry, I forgot her name again, but the one over there. The blade will not cause harm, as I understand it, in the same manner again. I will say that we would do well to find out how it ended up here and in the possession of this person, rather than with whom we last saw it. And I think that that is potentially the most dangerous element of this all, other than you and me.
That's fair. Let's just be vigilant about each other, and I suppose about all things around here.
Do you think that we were chosen to do this because
No.
we are harder, and because if we were not helping to keep people safe, we would be the things that they would need to fear?
No, Dmitrii. I think we choose ourselves to do what we do.
I'd like to think I have choice. I don't know that I do. I think you do, for whatever that's worth. Thank you for trying to speak to me. I suppose you did speak to me. Thank you for trying to reach me. I am not trying to be difficult. I am simply myself.
You're not difficult. I think you are being kind by thinking you're difficult, but you are a man of logic and numbers and science, and 1 + 1 = 2, and I am a musician, and that itself is just simply numbers and reasons.
That is true. Harmonics keep the powers of existence spinning. Energy is at the heart of what we both do. And what makes more logical sense? A bit of music or a living wish? At my heart, I am quite frustrated by the illogical nature of my very existence. You, however, I feel that I understand completely. I only hope the same for you, that you may understand yourself completely.
That sadly is not currently. That sadly is currently a luxury for me that I cannot reach, but I take comfort in the fact that it seems as though the two of us understand each other more clearly than of ourselves.
Indeed. I will say, if I do lose control and cause harm in a manner that does not befit our station or does not benefit those around us, I would like to say I do not seek to cause harm to those around us. If I do, I don't believe Harken is capable of stopping me. I'm not sure you are either, but you have a better chance of trying. Might I burden you with a request that you try in that state?
If you ever become a source of harm to this world or to any world in particular, I give you this promise, and I do not promise very easily, that I will destroy you. How does that sound?
Relieving, honestly. Thank you. I will do my best to make it so that that is possible for you to do.
Good.
If I may.
I was gonna say, I've been curious what Harken's been doing the whole time. Talking.
Kella is still like fading, I assuming, correct?
No, she is stable but unconscious.
I think Harken's having a hard time like keeping it in. That moment of like just not crying, but tears are welling up. And I think he's just saying under his breath, "You won't be lost like him. Your family gets to see you. If you have any siblings, they get to see you. You won't be lost like him.
All right. We're going to move away from there. We're going to pull back because now it's time for the fallout phase of our game, the final phase of this episode. First, we must advance the Abyss track. We fill in one segment automatically, and then, let's see, no one was killed. No one fell into eclipse. The student council came closer to their destiny of revealing a hidden truth about the world. That happens. So that is 2 segments onto the Abyss track. The Abyss track is still in tier 1, so Fallout is likewise at the lowest tier. Right. All right, now for the final roll of the episode, the Fallout roll. This is my roll. For this, I roll as many dice as y'all have reached tiers in the investigation track. You reached tier 2, so I get 2 dice. All right. That's actually a 6. Nice. Omens loom in the mundane world. Outside the academy, in the great city, where the buildings dig deep into the ground, people are talking. Some are talking about the rumors of deaths at the academy, of course. Others speak of how dark the firmament has gotten these days. And some of them, those who listen to whispers from deep in the shadows, speak in hushed voices that something is not right, that some terrible truth is being concealed if they only knew what. And that is where episode 1 will draw to a close. Join us next Tuesday to meet our final player and to follow us down deep into the darkness. We will see you then. Goodbye, everybody.
Bye.